Live from LA, you are watching Midnight Movie Talk with me, Eric Weber. The Sunday Night Spectacular is underway, and we are going to revisit the past to start the show because we called it. It is indeed Indiana Jones in the Dial of Disaster. Here we go. 3 weeks ago, right here on MMT. Let's have a listen. Indy 5 is going to bomb. I agree with this 100% real opinion. Its budget is way too high for any profit to be made, and there's zero hype. I agree 1,000,000%. And this is why Disney took it to Cannes to try to generate some kind of buzz. There's no buzz for this film. Let me tell you, if there is no buzz for Indiana Jones in the Dial of Destiny from me, a Gen Xer who grew up with Indiana Jones, I don't want to see the movie. Do you think that Gen Z wants to see this shit? They have no interest. And guess what, guys? Who was right? Hit me with the like button right now as we start here on this Sunday night. Nailed it. We called this weeks ago. This film was going to be major trouble for Disney, and look, it is. And why did the film bomb? There are many reasons why this film did not fire like many thought it would, and the biggest reason is going to be in front of you momentarily. Have a look at this from THR. Look at the audience. Opening weekend, it skewed notably older. 42% of the tickets were sold to people 45 and older, including 23% 55 and older. And that's something you just don't see when it comes to these giant 4-quad summer tentpole blockbusters. You can't have that happen. If you want to succeed as a summertime smash hit, you must appeal to all 4 quadrants of the movie-going audience, and this film did not, and we called it weeks ago. In fact, this is so bad, and this is so obvious, that Disney should be firing multiple people as of this moment. Before the 4th, you're fired. And yes, I know you're all going to say fire Kathleen Kennedy. At this point, if this doesn't shove her out the door, what is Iger waiting for? There's nothing left for this woman to destroy. So when are you going to make the move? You have to now make a move if you're Disney, because you are becoming a toxic brand when it comes to losses. When you look at this, it's a $300 million film. So conservatively, this needs to make $700 million in box office for it to even break even. That's on the low end of things. It's over 300 million. We never get the exact budget. It's definitely more, but let's just go 700, 750, 800. This film will be lucky to get to 4. This is as bad as The Flash. I would argue maybe even bigger, because it's even more impactful on Disney again, because we have another loss. Look at what we've seen over the past several months and year now. Go back to Lightyear, bomb. Strange World, tank. Little Mermaid, barely keeping its head above water. Still going to lose money, but it has picked up a little bit. And same with Elemental, still going to lose, even though it has been able to somehow regenerate a little bit of business, because frankly other films are not doing as well, like Ruby Gilman, which is, by the way, so much stronger than Elemental, and I'm going to go off on that in a few minutes. But what do you think we need to do here? If you're Disney, what do you do next? Okay, that is the big topic of discussion here on this Sunday night. Other than fire Kathleen Kennedy, there's going to be like a million comments that say fire Kathleen Kennedy. Fire Cat. Okay, yes, I get it. I'm with you, but it's not going to happen. She is protected. She reminds me of somebody who works for the mob, right? The nephew of one of the mob bosses who's not very good at their job, but they have to keep them in place because they are family. That is what Kathleen Kennedy is. She is family. She has pictures of somebody, because at this point, with what's happened, it is not advisable to keep her around. Mega YouTube, Kathleen Kennedy's contract runs out in 2024. I think they'll wait until then to part ways. No, you get rid of her now. You fire her after this. There's just been too much done wrong by her Lucasfilm entity. She has destroyed so many properties that at this point you have to get rid of her. We see it happen in sports all the time. When someone loses their fastball, when someone sucks at whatever position they play in the NFL, eventually the team just goes, we don't care. We're going to eat the contract. We're going to lose the money and just get rid of them. Remember, like, well, look at Moneyball, right? I love Moneyball, right? We always talk about that film because it's such a great lesson on life and business. What a brilliant film that is. But look at, remember, David Justice in Brad Pitt's like, listen, we're not paying your salary. The Yankees are paying your salary. That's how little they think of you. That's what you need to do with Kathleen Kennedy. Just absorb the loss and get her out of here. Movies never say die. They were overconfident, but the reviews out of Cannes undercut the movie massively. And if you go back and watch that video, and it's on the MMT page, is Indy in trouble? Is it going to bomb? What did we say? They panicked when they took that movie to Cannes. They wanted some buzz out of there, and the movie's not good. Okay, that's the other thing that we keep forgetting here. This is not a great film. And when you are dealing with something that is not even worth your time to watch, that's doubly toxic. You have a situation where no one wants to see the film, even if it's good. And then you give us a film that is as absolutely lackluster as you could ever imagine in Indiana Jones with an 80-year-old Indy and, of course, Phoebe Waller-Bridge trying to take over the whip and the fedora. I don't think so. And the audiences said no. And by the way, we called that too. Our other video from a week or two ago. Let me tell you, Kathleen Kennedy, you don't have to worry about replacing Indy because this film's going to bomb. We are right. That is what we do. We plant our flag on the right side of history like 98.9% of the time. I also want to remind you of this. What was our number on this? $57 million 3-day. It's at 60, but I'm telling you right now, Disney shoved that to 60 because they don't want to have a headline that says it only made 50x million dollars. They wanted to get that to 60 no matter what. When the actual comes in, what we find out this film made today, I bet you that number's like 59. Maybe 58. What if it's 57? We're good at this. We missed on Flash. I still don't understand that film. I really don't. It's a solid movie, and you guys did not want to see it. I've seen it 3 times. I like the film a lot. Take the Ezra politics and put them aside. It's good, okay? This film is not. I'm not going to defend Dial of Disaster ever, okay? Watch that stream of me for 15 minutes looking like I was about ready to end it all after watching that film. I was so distraught over how bored I was sitting through that damn film. And James Mangold giving us 30 minutes too much film. That is a crime. Mangold, you need to go to director jail for like literally a while. We don't need to see you for a long time. DC, put the Swamp Thing on ice and just let Mangold sit. 30 minutes that you could have cut out of this film and at least made it watchable. But at 2 hours and a half, there's actually a guy going around. Did you guys see the tweet? I might pull it up at the end of the show. I don't have time. I don't want to do it right now because I got too many things to talk about and too many of your comments. By the way, producer Nate, can you give me the super chat? I want to bring that in right now if you can. When you look at this film going down as hard as it did, it's really about Disney getting their shit together. And I don't know what it's going to take, but at this point, you got to make moves. You cannot sit around and say it's okay to keep doing what we're doing because the audience is telling you, Disney, down the street from me, literally 5 minutes from my house, I can go over there, walk into the meeting room with all your execs, and tell you this. The audience is very much letting you know through all of these films that have bombed that they are not happy with the direction that you are going. Call it woke, call it whatever it is. There's a very significant portion of the population that is tired of what Disney has been doing to films over the past year, 2, even going further back than that. I go back, I always bring up what? Not Star Wars, that's too easy. Not Indy, that's right now. Cars 3, when Lightning McQueen gives up halfway through the race and says, hey, Cruz Ramirez, why don't you take over the race? What the like, this goes back like over 5 years more. This is bad. And Disney, you got to start firing people. Listen, I'm here. I can get over there in 5 minutes and I will walk in like Alec Baldwin and Glengarry Glen Ross. You see these? These are brass balls. This is what I have, and none of you do. A, always. B, C, changing the entire room. You're fired, and you're fired. Who are you? I can't do the whole scene. I haven't seen it so long. That scene, if you have not watched Glengarry Glen Ross, my God, how incredibly epic is that scene with Alec Baldwin and the salesman in the room and him just going off. What's my name? Fuck you. My car costs more than your whole life. My watch. That scene is amazing. Welcome to the channel, everyone who's here on this Sunday night. It's a long holiday weekend. We might go long tonight. I just feel like really just going off. It's just one of those nights. Lonely Lizard, thank you for the super chat. $20, really appreciate it. Disney should cut their losses on Haunted Mansion and Marvels and make sure that animation studios Wish, yes, which I saw the trailer again last night, it does look very strong. Make that the big Disney 100th anniversary finale event movie. It's a hit, as people like Grace Randolph, we don't say her name here, okay? Talk about someone who, forget it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go off on Grace Randolph tonight. Maybe later. She said it, she's heard it's great. Fine. It looks fine. Here's the situation. The Marvels is dead, right? It's done. Haunted Mansion is going to do very lukewarm business at best. Disney has to recalibrate how they do business, and not just Disney, right? It's like the entire world needs to be put on notice that we're tired of the way that you're doing things and we need a change. All you are out. You know, if I had my way, can I tell you this? Can I just do a little political talk here for a moment? It's gonna be short. If I had my way, I would fire every single person involved in government. You're all out. I would walk into Congress. All of you here, all 400 plus congressmen, you're gone. In Senate, 100, you're out. All of you guys are out. 500 plus people on the street. You know what we're going to do now? We're going to do the Hunger Games with politicians. We're not going to have them kill each other. That would be interesting. That might be the way to get rid of them all. But what we are going to do is we are going to draft you for 1 year, send you to DC, and you're going to be unbiased, objective, and you're going to vote for these things based on what's right. And then we're going to get rid of you after a year. The problem with politics, you have too many people that are tied into the system, that are doing the interest of others based on all of the people throwing cash at them to get reelected. 1 year and you're out. Right? Give me a thumbs up on that. Is that not the solution? You're all fired, and now we're going to do things differently. And that's what Disney needs to do right now. Starting, make it Wednesday then. If it's a long weekend and everyone's off tomorrow on the 4th, Wednesday morning, meeting, 7 o'clock, right here on Buena Vista, 5 minutes from my house, in the conference room. You're fired, you're fired, you're fired, and I don't know who the hell you are, but you're fired too. It's Tom Cruise from Tropic Thunder. Hey, you over there, someone go up and punch him in the face. Yes. Key grip. Punch him in the face. Punch him in the face. That's what we need. We need more of that. Disney needs that for sure. Mulchy, Disney's problem for the last decade. They went all in on existing IP. The product quality dipped, and they can't create original IP because they're frauds. There's who can argue this? I mean, based on what we've seen lately from every Disney entity, it's not just Lucasfilm, it's Pixar. Look at Elemental. What a forgettable film. And this is what, here's a problem. Okay, let's just really do this. I mean, really do this. This is how fucked Disney is in the head. When they cast Elemental in the voices, they didn't say, let's get the best flame girl and the best aqua guy. They said, let's get some non-binary actors. Who gives a shit what they call their pronouns? Nobody cares. I want an actor who is good. I mean, do I have to go over there and do this speech? I mean, it's so obvious. Why are we casting someone who's non-fucking gender? We are looking for the best possible voice. I don't care if they identify as a steam iron. I don't give a shit. Are they good? I'm done with this crap of ticking boxes and virtue signaling. It's disgusting. People who virtue signal make me ill. They are not even fit to be around. There's something mentally wrong with them. Don't do that shit. Base what you believe on merit. If you love it, then go for it, but you believe it on merit, not on the fact. We're going to talk about Joyride in a few minutes. I saw the movie last night. I enjoyed the film, but you know why I enjoyed the film? Because it's funny. There's a lot of things, the certainly chemistry of the actresses and the performances. I didn't like it because the four women are Asian. Like, what's wrong with you to even think that? There's something fundamentally broken inside of you as a person if you watch Joyride and go, the reason this is good is because they're Asian women. No, it is not. The reason the film is funny is because the actresses are talented as human beings. I'm so tired of having that discussion. I'm not going to do it. Well, of course, I'm going to keep doing it because I'm going to just keep hammering the people that do that shit, because virtue signalers need to be stowed away somewhere that we don't have to listen to them anymore. And the whiners can go away too. I don't want to hear you anymore either. And we're going to get on to critics today. I sent a tweet saying that 99% of critics are hot trash. And I believe that. And I know you guys do too, because they do that stuff. They play the identity politics. They play the, here, look at me, I'm so virtuous. I liked that. No, the movie either works or it doesn't. It doesn't matter if the women involved are all Asian, if the women are all white, if the women are all black, if the director's a woman, a man. It doesn't matter. The movie is the movie. I'm right. You can never win that argument, so don't even bother, because you're just making yourself look really stupid when you come in with any of that shit. Because true objectivity doesn't see color. We see quality and we see merit. It is so easy, guys. Make YouTube like March and June. November looks overcrowded. We need good movies in the marketplace. And I'll tell you what, think about this. Movie theaters were screwed by Indy this weekend. And you're, well, how? Well, because the film bombed and there's nothing else out. Ruby Gillman was the only other film that opened wide this past weekend. And this is the 4th of July weekend. There should be people like lined up outside the theater with 4 films coming out. Remember that weekend we had Asteroid City? We had, what were the other movies? There were like 4 movies that weekend, right? I'm already forgetting. Was it Spider-Man? Or was it Transform? Whatever. All those movies. We need that. We need diversity in the marketplace, not based on the cast and what they look like, but diversity of film. Oh, God. I always wait for someone to come after me and tell me I'm wrong about what I just said about that whole thing of valuing a film because the women in Joyride are Asian. So let's value that film more. I always wait for someone to come after me, and they never can, because they go, there's no attack to that. What's the attack? What's the attack? I like the film. Not because they're Asian women. God almighty. So movie theaters this weekend are screwed because think about this. You've got Indy bombing. You've got Ruby Gillman sadly not doing the business it should. And I'll talk about that just momentarily because I want to go off on that. Surprise, I'm going off on things tonight. And then what I want to do is talk about the fact that these theaters are hurting because you don't have the popcorn sales. You don't have people coming through. You have empty seats because you have Indy bombing and you have no other big film that is new. Everything that's in theaters now is a holdover, right? So poor theater owners got screwed this weekend by Indiana Jones. They are suffering financially because of Disney's decision. And let's just be absolutely unvarnished, to make the film. Not because it's bad. There was no reason to make Indiana Jones 5. I can't believe that this discussion was had across the street at Disney, and someone said, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's make Indiana Jones 5, and let's give it to Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She'll take over. Who? This is what I'm talking about. These people are broken in their brains, are literally have damage because they don't understand that film is not going to work. I'm telling you, I will be Alec Baldwin and Glengarry Glen Ross and go in whenever they pitch one of these and go, that's a shitty idea. Jim, Margie, what are you even thinking? Nobody wants to watch Indiana Jones at 80, and certainly not him passing the torch to Phoebe Waller-Bridge. We're not making this movie. In fact, Jim and Margie, you're fired. Both of you are out of here. Get out of here. Just hit the road. I don't want to see you guys anymore. You're annoying. And you're dumb, too, while you're at it. Slam the door. We need to get back to that kind of mentality. Remember the 80s, right? Go back and watch films like Wall Street. It was vicious, right? Go back, watch a Glengarry Glen Ross. They weren't, oh, my feelings, and oh, my baby. Alec Baldwin eviscerates everybody in the room, and the guys are like, you can't talk to us like that. He's like, fuck you, I can't. I'll do it. Because now someone will go complain, you hurt his feelings. You weren't very nice in that meeting, Eric. That wasn't very nice. You're being mean. And you hurt someone's feeling. They need to go to their safe space for a while. They're going to cry. Gen X doesn't give a shit about your feelings because no one gave a shit about our feelings. You just keep going. You don't worry about what other people think about you. And if someone says shit, you on Twitter now, mute, block, don't even engage. They're not worth your time. So that's why this stream I love doing is I don't have to worry about that shit. And if someone comes in here, bring it. Producer Nate, if you have someone, bring it in. I'd love to have a debate with somebody who's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. But I looked at leading elemental actors. I read the story. If I'm wrong, I tell me I'm wrong. But here's what I got. Okay, if they're not, Russell Wilson, let me tell you this. If they're not non-binary, they're nobodies. So why did you pick them as your voices? No one does that in animation anymore. You don't pick two virtual nobodies. You even look at Ruby Gillman. I know the young actress had done some things, but you still have Jane Fonda, I believe, is the grandma. And there's other famous voices in there that are really strong. The voice work in Ruby Gillman alone is so much stronger than Elemental. And you might be saying, well, why does that matter? Are you kidding me? Go watch the two films. You can see it. The difference is like literally, night and day. Renee, a sequel trilogy divides fan base. TV series viewership in decline since Mando season 2. Willow was a bust. Now Indiana Jones is dead. Where does it end? You guys know I don't watch the shows, so I can't even comment about Mandalorian and Willow and all this stuff. But I understand if you were to watch all that stuff and put it all together, trust me, I'd be going off even more nuclear than I am. But even with just the theatrical element that we talk about here, because we're all about movies in theaters, you have to fire people. There has to be a change, a dramatic change in the way that studio thinks, how it operates. We need to stop hiring people based on checking boxes. And let me just touch on this because I will absolutely go after this 1,000,000% because you guys know I believe this. The Supreme Court telling you that they're going to strike down affirmative action is not the correct way. It's not the right way. We got to go and look at merit. What's the argument to that? You can't tell me that in a true colorblind merit-based system that picking who's the best at what they do, and yes, I understand it's subjective to a level, but if I'm looking at a bunch of resumes of a bunch of, here's our candidates for admission here at Harvard, at Princeton, at my school, Ohio State, I'm going to look at what have these people done? What is the resume? Let me look at this and look at the application. And then after I've done that, I might look at, I don't even want to know if it's a woman, a man, a non-gen. I don't give a shit. What have they done? It's merit, guys. It's merit. What? Why do people not see it like me? I need you to explain it to me because I'm right. I know, and you guys know I'm right too. Even the people that want to argue with me know that there's no countering a merit-based system. There's no countering it. Max, just found out about a website called Mediaversity, which rates films solely based on diversity. Irishman, Joker all got an F. Who cares? I saw that. You think you sent it to me on Twitter. I saw that and I didn't even have a comment because I was disgusted. There are so many people in this country that have made it their profession to prey on people who give a shit about doing that. I mean, who cares? I mean, Joker is based against itself. It's not based on whether the actors are a certain race or whether it's directed by a man or woman. It's quality of the film. I'm tired of this. And even the Academy, you guys know, they're new rules that you have to have this, and this. No, it's wrong. I'm sorry. We all talked about Richard Dreyfuss, and he definitely went way too far out there talking about, I can walk around with a blackface. No one's going to, come on, guys. That's ridiculous. Like, he went like off the deep end. But as far as just saying that having these rules in place, that we need to have X, Y, and Z, or this film can't qualify for Best Picture, garbage. No, we're not doing that. And I can tell you this, you guys know that I am the chair of Sunset Circle. It's year number 4 coming up. And by the way, yes, that group is fantastic. I love everybody in it because everybody is about merit. That we will never, and I mean ever, consider making it all gender, one gender, like we saw with the Gothams, like we saw with the Spirit Awards. Well, we're just going to have all the men and women and whatever they identify in one group. No, we're not. We're going to have actor and actress, and that's how it's going to go. I'm never going to change. We need more people who are dead set in how they do things the way they do, and we're not going to bend to the whiners and the bullshit people out there. I'm not going to listen to them anymore. We're not going to do it. I'm not going to have to, I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time to talk about that stuff with these people. You bore me, and you're a boring person if that's what you talk about all the time. Like, Joker failed because it's a white male who's in the lead. Shut up. You know what? Find something better to contribute to society than a garbage site that values a film based on the race of everybody involved. I'm tired of the race baiting. It's over. We didn't do that in Gen X when we were kids. Nobody did that. How many times have I told you guys? We woke up Saturday morning and Fat Albert was on. I didn't once think that this is something different. I said, these are kids. They just don't live in my little hometown in Columbus, Ohio. They live in New York. It's not that I didn't view them as different other than they lived in a different environment. Of course, you can see that, duh. But I didn't say, oh, the show's great because of that. I didn't watch Fat Albert because of that. I thought Fat Albert was funny. I liked the show. There's something wrong with this country when we no, it's not the country. That's wrong. That's wrong. There's something wrong with the world, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's buttons being pushed, but I am done discussing race 24/7, says the white guy. I'm done with it. We all are done with it. I value people based on what they are as a human being, not on the color of their skin or the sex or whether they are a man or a woman. That's it. We're not doing it again. It's over. That shit's over, and I'm right. I'm done with it. I'm not doing it. The voice talent in Ruby Gillman was far better. Guys, it's not even a contest, and this is what I want to discuss. It leads right into our next big topic. And by the way, we're going to talk about Jonathan Majors. I told you the other night that Jonathan Majors was in big trouble. This is not over, and I've got the article to prove it. Rolling Stone, this is not looking good for Jonathan Majors. We'll do it in just a moment. We get to that. Are we reviewing movies or studios? When you look at the praise for Elemental versus the praise for Ruby Gillman, I don't want to talk about the Rotten Tomatoes score. I'm talking about the overall loudness of the people that are going, oh my God, Elemental versus, oh my God, Ruby Gillman. I've seen both films. Ruby Gillman is not just a little bit stronger than Elemental. It is notches higher, and it starts with the voice talent. It's not just the voice talent, but the voice talent alone. Elemental's voice talent is high school play level. That's how poor it is. It is not strong, and that's what you get for two randos, and you got to get people that have some experience doing this. Go back, Eddie Murphy, Shrek. Go back and look at Ellen DeGeneres, Finding Nemo. Oh, God, we could go all night, obviously. You need to have a voice in there that is very good at comedy, that has life to it, energy, and Elemental is just like, especially the guy. The guy voice, the Aqua dude voice in Elemental is bad. Like, I was listening going, who is this guy? He comes off as the most beta bitch ever. And I know that's the thing nowadays, right? And I'm not saying everyone needs to be alpha male, but I don't want to watch a little whiny ass watery bitch talk about whatever the fuck he was whining about the entire movie. Elemental is not good. Anyone who says Elemental is a great film or even a very good film, I can tell you now, you can go ahead and discount and forget everything they say for the rest of the time. That film is not good. And if you flip the labels, if we were to take Ruby Gillman and make it Pixar and make Elemental DreamWorks or anything, Elemental, no one's talking about. It's bad. Ruby Gillman, it's Pixar. Oh my God, this is great. Ruby Gillman is head, shoulders, light years better than Turning Red. They're the same general film, okay? But Ruby Gillman has charm. It's likable. It doesn't wear you out. It's tighter. It's so much better, guys. And the fact that it made $6 million this weekend, what a disgrace and sad to me, because it's so much stronger than Turning Red and certainly Elemental. But yet those are the Pixar films. We have too many critics in this space that go in and they say, oh, it's Pixar, so it's good. Oh, it's directed by this person, therefore it's great. it's this person's in the film. We love this actor, therefore it's good. No, none of that matters, guys. We wipe the slate clean. We start from zero. It's objective. We start every single time. The studio doesn't matter, okay? If anything, if we're going to talk about the studio mattering, then Pixar means we should be not just here. Our expectation for Pixar is up here, right? Not Elemental. Ruby Gillman is DreamWorks, and you start here and you end up going up here because it's better than a lot of their films. It's very good. And what a disappointment. And critics, I'm going to say it. I said it in Twitter. I'm going to make sure it's clear right now. There are the vast majority of film critics in this space that are not good at evaluating films. And you guys know I'm right. Trust me. Don't make me go through the Babylon, the Beau's Afraid, the Scream 6, the Magic Mike's Last Dance. I don't think anyone actually defended that. All Cocaine Bear. These are bad films. And when you are recommending 1, 2, or 3 of those, we are in a really bad place. And nowadays, the problem is everyone can go ahead and grab the movie critic hat, put it on. I'm a movie critic. What are your credentials? How long have you been doing this? What's your track record? Show me where you've been on films over the past decade, and then we can see, like, what's your success rate, right? What's your batting average in general? Now, it is subjective, but we can say this too, right? There is a general right and a general wrong on some of these films, okay? And I know you guys are going to come after me for Ant-Man 3, some of you The Flash, Thor: Love and Thunder, but I know in here that those films are not bad. Conversely, I am 1,000% certain the Cocaine Bear is borderline unwatchable. One of the worst screenplays and poorest direction performances you'll see of the entire year. In fact, I think on the 4th of July, we're going to do one of two things. I'll let you guys come into the comments and vote. We'll probably put it up in the community. Do you want to do a best of or a worst of 2023 so far? I'd rather do one or the other in a stream because I think I'm going to go absolutely berserk on the worst of, and it's going to take like an hour for me to go off on Cocaine Bear, Magic Mike, Scream, Beau's Afraid, on and on and on we go. So many, Dial of Disaster, so many films that are bad. I don't even know if I can come up with 10. I might have to do the worst 20 films. And we're halfway through the year, and I've got 20 films that I could put on the worst of the year. This year has definitely been on the low end as far as quality this year. There's been good films, and we point those out, certainly, but there's been a lot of bad, not just like average, but bad films. And I think it'll be fun to do that stream. But let me know what you want to do on Tuesday night for July 4th, because it's, fireworks going off. Let's just do our own fireworks here, and I'll just go ballistic like I typically do. I mean, it's not like Elemental is one of Pixar's most acclaimed movies right now. Not sure what you... Okay, listen. There are plenty of people who came out of Elemental and were like, this movie's great, or this movie's good, and the reason they said that is because of Pixar. They get tricked by, look at the shiny object. There's the Pixar logo. It's good. Same thing with A24. There's the A24 brand. Boom, it's good. No. I can watch a Gravitas Venture, an IFC. I can watch name a label. Oh my God, Roadside Attractions. Name any random movie brand. XYZ Films. CYX? Which one is it? I think it's XYZ. Name something. Rando, right? Those I can get behind the movie. I don't have to care about the label, but too many critics are like, it's Pixar, it's good. No, it's not. Okay, a couple more comments. I want to do Joyride, the evaluation coming up. Because Mega YouTube, I want to do both. If I do a worst, then on Thursday we'll talk. Because here's the thing: this Thursday we got 2 small films coming in: Insidious and Joyride. We're going to talk about Joyride right now, and I like it. I'm tell you why in moments. But other than that, there's not much going on. Dial of Disaster's dead. Mission Impossible doesn't open until next week. Mission Impossible. Can we talk about this just quickly before I forget? Because I've been going all over the place. I mean, producer Nate, a thumbs up for you, by the way, tonight, as always, for being able to handle the million things that come flying out of here at any second. Look at Mission Impossible 7. When you wish, theaters owners are sitting here going, my God, why couldn't you give us Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1? Why did we get Indiana Jones over the 4th? We got bent over and done by Phoebe and by Harrison because they gave us this film versus Tom Cruise, and Mission Impossible 7. That is how bad this is for theater owners. But listen, have faith, guys. I know a lot of theater people watch the channel. You are going to be good starting next Wednesday. We got about 10 days. That day, when it comes out, Mission Impossible 7 is going to be $1 billion film guaranteed. We're calling it now. No question whatsoever. We've seen it. We love it. It's going to be $1 billion film. You're going to be busy as hell because it's going to be banged. And I think Barbie, actually, I'm coming around to the fact that Barbie's going to do well because I have people that are just like randomly telling me they're looking forward to it. So I'm like, okay, I need to start thinking that this film might pop a really big number. I know I said I was really questioning this, but I feel like we might be moving on that. The film that's in trouble is Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is going to be a disappointment because it appeals to you, to me, and that's about it. It's not a film that is going to work with the large swath of the movie-going public. It's just not going to fire with them. They're not interested in sitting through a 2 hour and 45, 3 hour drama in the middle of July. They want to see Barbie, Mission Impossible. They want to see these films. Maybe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of the last films of the summer that has a chance to be sort of big. But they don't want to watch Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is going to be disastrous to IMAX theaters that second week. I'm calling it now. Just like we said, Mission Impossible is going to make $1 billion. When Oppenheimer is in the second week of that IMAX exclusive run, those screens are going to be largely empty because this film will not work with a very large portion of the average movie-going audience. And the only thing we don't talk about enough about is the economy sucks, right? I imagine we're all feeling something. I mean, you guys know, if I haven't told you before, I do shop at Walmart. I like Walmart. I'm not going to lie to you. So I go in there and I buy these, right? This is the best thing in the world. This is my tonic water. Well, it's actually sparkling water, but it's amazing. Okay. So it used to be $2.88. Then it went to $3.50, $3.88. Now it's $4.40. So it's gone up. What is that? Like 66%? It's gone 75%. It's gone up insane. And people are feeling the pinch. So what happens when all of a sudden your seltzer water goes up almost $2 for a case? Here's what happens. You don't have the money to spend on other things, so people don't go to movies. They're going to be really choosy about the films they see. And Indiana Jones, The Dial Disaster doesn't appeal to them, and I get it. Trust me, it was hard for me to sit through as a Gen Xer. So the kids aren't going to see it. People with money that are already like tight against it, they're not going to go see it. So they're waiting for Mission Impossible 7. You're going to be good. Theater owners, have faith. You're all set in 10 days. Just get through the next 10 days. You're going to be fine. I don't need to wait for Mission Impossible 7. I've been having a ball at theaters for a month now, ever since Creed 3 up to now. Indy 5 is another hit. Wow, superhero movies, it's not good. It's just not a good film. It's as flat line of a film as I have sat through in a long time. I had no reaction to that film. As you go watch the stream of me coming out of Disney and sitting here. I didn't even have anything to say. I just sat there just going like, my God. It's just overlong, number one. But number two is underwhelming and just, it's not an unwatchable film because we need to save that. We got to watch when we go like, oh my God, this film is like the worst thing ever made. That's Beau is Afraid. It's not Beau is Afraid, but it's also not a great film by any means whatsoever. Okay, let's do it. Producer Nate, give me a hold on the comments. We can do comments on this momentarily. I want to get into the MMT evaluation tonight, a film I'm surprised that I liked. When I watched the trailer for Joyride, I was like, this film's not for me. Right? I don't know. These jokes, I mean, I get bathroom humor. I'm like, okay, I can sort of do this, right? The X-rated raunch-com stuff. But I wasn't really that hyped to see it. But then I sat through the special screenings they had nationwide on Saturday night, and I'll tell you what, I laughed. I enjoyed it. And let's talk about why this film works. Here is why this film surprised me. And the number one thing that Joyride has going for it is bursting with energy. This film, from the moment it starts, has that pacing that we're looking for when it comes to comedy. You're looking for the jokes to come in fast and to be timed and edited like bang, and then boom, and then bang. And right off the bat, you know within seconds that this film is calibrated well, and that goes to the direction of this first-time director. The first-time director here, she is a writer on Crazy Rich Asians. She did that Raya and the Last Dragon. This is her first film, Adele Lim, and I'll tell you, she's extremely talented, and she has the timing aspect down for a first-time director. She knows how to edit her film to work for the jokes that are within. The film that doesn't know how to do this whatsoever is the other film we saw last week, the other comedy that's terrible as far as direction for sure. No Hard Feelings. The director of that film, Gene Stupnitsky, needs to sit through Joyride and watch what Adele Lim does with a film and then try, God save he ever makes another film, try to at least ape what she can do as a first-time director. She's very talented. And the number one reason this film works, though, these are all important, but it is this. It is the ensemble, the chemistry, and the performances of each of these actresses. Stephanie Hsu, who you guys remember from a film that you guys know I didn't exactly love, but you look at all the actresses here, and I got to pull them up so I have them in front of me. Ashley Park, very good. Stephanie's great. The supporting actors are very good. Sabrina Wu is Deadeye, very funny. Everyone here is Sherry Cola is really good. She's just got this like stand-up comedy aura to her, and she knows how to deliver lines. You guys are going to like this film. I was shocked, and this score might not seem that high for you because it's, you know, it's not like a 90, but 83 is good for me. That's like a B minus because it's not, listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's not really like in my wheelhouse, this film, right? I'm a Gen X guy. It's a movie largely for women. It's not a movie for Asian women. I mean, sure it is, but it's more, right, it's going to work better for women than men. That I will cede to you all day. But the fact that I enjoyed it and I laughed and I appreciated a lot of its value and what it does well, that speaks to something, and that speaks to Adele's direction and the ensemble. You need to check it out. I think it has a chance to be a surprise hit for Lionsgate. Comes out next weekend along with Insidious, and it will benefit from the marketplace that needs fresh product, right? Hey, all right, thank you. Look, producer Nate's like letting me know middle of the show that he's rolling out. Guys, this means it's going to get crazy. Here's the deal. If you want to get in right now on the channel for the rest of the show, I'm going to be honest with you guys. You're going to have to do a super chat. I cannot get through 300 comments here. It's like, I can't do it. It's too many. So if you want to get in, give me a super chat. I do want to discuss, though, before I get to a few more comments, and I will have time at the end, I'll do my best to push the buttons. Critics review the shills review the brand first, 100%. Of course, people look at race, no question about it. Wade was a horrible character in a beta for sure, no question. He's such an unlikable character, right? He's absolutely not, and that's the reason the movie is not good. Elemental, we're talking about. Okay, before we get to more comments, I do want to talk about, this is a big story, guys. This Jonathan Majors saga is not over. No matter what Twitter tells you, certainly if you go on there and you search Jonathan Majors, you're going to be led to believe that now that his accuser, and it's been flipped, and it looks like she's the one who battered him in the back of the cab, that he's scot-free. It's over. He's going to be Kang. Marvel's going to move on. No, that's not going to happen. And let me tell you why. Because this is what I told you when this whole story broke. I said to you that this story is going to hinge on Jonathan Majors' past. Because remember when Tim Nicolai came out and had the tweet saying, listen, we in the theater community here in New York have known about Jonathan Majors and the issues off field and the fact that he's just not a very good guy. We've known about that for a long time. Okay. I told you that was going to be Jonathan Majors' possible downfall. This is from Rolling Stone, exclusive. Jonathan Majors' extreme abuse allegedly goes back nearly a decade. This is exactly what Tim Nikolai was talking about. Okay, so during a 3-month investigation, Rolling Stone spoke with more than 40 people who have known Majors during his time in graduate school at Yale, his Hollywood career, and his romantic relationships. Many describe Majors as being a complicated, unpredictable, and sometimes violent man. Listen, we're all complicated. We're all unpredictable. People call me that, but I'm certainly not a violent man. That's not a good thing to be called. You can be switched from charming to cold in a flash. Now, all the sources for the article requested anonymity, citing fear of career repercussions and personal retribution by Majors. Of course, this person said, my only response, I can be silenced by an NDA he had me sign. So he has, apparently, according to the source here, he is having people sign NDAs. Non-disclosure agreement. So that's obviously an issue. Okay, so real quickly, let's get to his attorney saying that he denies all of this. But listen to this. Most seriously, more than a dozen sources collectively claim to Rolling Stone that Majors allegedly abused 2 romantic partners, one physically, both of them emotionally. It was pervasively known that he was a good actor and that he would terrorize the people that he had dated, one of the sources says. Majors allegedly strangled one woman he was dating and mentally and emotionally abusive with her, 9 of the sources claim. 9 of the sources, okay? Not 1, not 2, 3, 4, 9 independent sources. The second woman allegedly told friends that her relationship with Majors was, in quote, emotional torture. Now, those who were friends with the women or present during the relationships with Majors independently corroborated details of alleged abuse. Throughout conversations with Rolling Stone, they described feeling alarmed by what they witnessed at the time or what they were told by the women. So here is the issue, okay? They're saying he was aggressive at work. He has a lot of allegations that Majors got physical or physically intimidated anyone on a movie set. Well, they're saying they actually denied that. But the fact that he apparently got physical with other people in the relationship, that is the issue with 9 sources. This is not over, okay? And the problem for Jonathan Majors is, how do you refute 9 people minimum coming out saying that all of these things were in fact the case during their relationship or their knowledge of time with Jonathan Majors? It's not over. That's why Marvel hasn't said anything. They know this is still going on. That story, interestingly enough, was kind of buried. You guys know that came out a few days ago now. And the fact that that is not in a bigger position of prominence for you tells me that there's interference being run. You guys know in this world, okay, that there is a ton of, as they like to call, disinformation. It's really just about muddying the waters, making it harder for you to find the truth out there. You've got to look harder. Don't even get me started on COVID. I don't want to do that here. I just want to talk about just the general concept. I feel like I'm in the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning right now, where it's like we're talking about the construct of truth for the rest of mankind, for the rest of all time. When you go look for information on any given topic, a COVID, go to the vaccines, go to whatever you want to go. Okay, I don't want to do like crazy political shit here. I just want to tell you that it's harder to find a full range of stories about what you're looking for. You're going to find a narrative that is driven down by the media, by Google. Watch out, I'm on YouTube. Whatever that is, there's an agenda in play, right? Things get amplified and de-amplified, and what you are shown is not always the full picture. And what I find interesting about the Jonathan Majors situation is that this article from Rolling Stone is not really getting a lot of traction. That tells me one of 2 things, okay? Number 1, his team is working overtime to get this story and get it put away, right? Silence the story. I'm not going to compare it to Harvey Weinstein in the way of what it is, right? We're not talking about what Harvey Weinstein did and how he got away with it. I'm just going to say Harvey Weinstein, the reason he got away with a lot of what he did for so long, you need to go watch She Said. It's a very strong movie. It got completely screwed last award season. But the reason that Weinstein got away with it so long is that he would bury any opportunities for that information to come to light. Now, when you look at the Jonathan Majors story that we just looked at, it's on Rolling Stone. You can Google search it. You'll find it. It is not as visible as you'd expect it to be. And that goes back to possibly somebody trying to de-amplify the news. Now, who would benefit from that? Clearly, Jonathan Majors. Who else would benefit from that? Marvel. Marvel does not want to recast Kang. That means they have to go back in and redo season 2 of Loki. That's not something they have any interest in doing, because that's a lot of cash. That's hundreds of millions of dollars to do an entire series again, because he's at least in 40 to 50% of the series. Of people that I have intimate knowledge sources telling me that he's in the series a ton. You got to go back in and reshoot. They don't want to do that. So Marvel would benefit from this story going away. It's interesting to me. And I think one thing that we hope to be able to do here, I think more so than any other YouTube channel, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that go woke, 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 or shill. We are like riding the middle because we are objective. We are ultimately journalists. That is what I was before I did this. That's what I was. I was a news anchor. And anyone who worked with me knows that I was as unbiased as I could be and as objective as possible. I always wanted to get the truth, at least the best I could see, from all of the sources, all the angles. I would never report something based on very little information. I want to know as much as possible. And I think what we strive to do here on MMT is to always surprise you with the ability to remain objective and the ability to be as even and scale balanced as possible, because we need more of that in this world. And I think that's what I want to do. That's why this channel could blow up if I started going, woke, this is terrible. We talk about it, but what I say about those things like Disney needs to fire all these people, I believe that, okay? And then if they do something right, I'm going to turn around and say Disney degraded. So we criticize and then we praise. And I think you guys are aware of that, and I want to thank you for being here. Give me a like if you agree with everything I just said. If you don't agree, come in and bring it. I got some time. I can do it, but remember this, guys. Remember this, that I am running the comments by myself because producer Nate rolled out. Producer Nate's like, I'm going out to hang on the 4th of July weekend. I'm not just going to push buttons for Weber on Midnight Movie Talk, which I can't really blame him at all. Okay, I want to get to 2 more things, and we'll do open comments to end the show. Let's do this. Tonight's kit is Aston Villa. I realized I have more Aston Villa kits than I think any other football squad in the entire world. I don't know what it is. There's something about Aston Villa that I love Kappa, by the way. Do you see that? That's Kappa. And I also love anything with a sleeve patch. I added that, by the way. This is an added sponsor sleeve patch. I told you guys I have a problem with my football shirts. I need them to be as attention to detailed and accurate as possible, which includes adding sponsors to the sleeves. It's a little bit of an obsession. Okay, let's do the must-see, and then we're going to move on to your comments, open comments to end the show. You guys are looking at your screen going, what the hell is this? What is Weber saying that I need to see? MMT's must-see is Gargoyles. It's a 1972 made-for-television movie that appeared on CBS way back in 1972. When I was a kid, I remember them showing this. By the way, just hold on for a second. Do you see that? How terrifying is that gargoyle? That's Bernie Casey. And the practical effects by Stan Winston, I believe, right? He did the practical effects. This is a TV movie. Now, here's the best part about Gargoyles. The practical effects, and this motherfucker is scary. Dude, when I was a kid, I was looking at this going, holy shit, is that real? And is he going to come down and literally fang me and just swoop off and take me off into the cave where they dwell in Gargoyles? It's a made-for-TV movie. It's like an hour and 10 minutes. And the best part about Gargoyles, you can watch it right now for free on YouTube. It is free. If you just go, wait, we're not done with the stream. If you go and put in the search bar Gargoyles 1972, you're going to be able to watch the entire movie. I will probably get hit with the copyright strike if I start hitting play. I just wanted to show you guys how frightening AF Bernie Casey is in Gargoyles. It's a made-for-TV movie. It was on CBS on like a Sunday night movie when they used to have like their own movies they featured on network television. Go watch Gargoyles. Has anyone watched it? I will fire you in right now if anyone has seen Gargoyles and they can back me up that they think that movie's badass. All right, let's do it. Open comments here on this Sunday night. I got to get rid of that. That's terrifying. I mean, look at that. It's scary as hell. Open comments. Let's go on this Sunday. Let's do another like 15, and then we're going to roll out because it takes a lot. Listen, guys, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you putting up with a lot, a lot of the stuff that we do here. We just kind of just fly by the seat of our pants and just go wherever we want to go. But I thank you for being here. But I need you to know it takes a lot of bandwidth to do the show. It takes a lot of energy to be able to literally talk for an hour straight and hopefully make some sense. Now, a lot of it is bad. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of the channel's terrible. But when we're good, we're pretty good. But when we're I'm reading some of the comments. You guys are killing me. I liked it better when I had somebody to read through the comments so I didn't have to look at all this. But Kuzma, I know that, but that's why I'm telling you to watch Gargoyles, because you guys are going to go check this film out. It's on YouTube for free. You can watch it tonight. It's an hour and 15 minutes. And you're going to come back when we do our next show on Tuesday and I do the worst films of the year. I think I'm just going to do that. You're going to be like, shit, Bernie Casey, and look at the Gargoyles. Like, I have nightmares. Not my fault if you guys have nightmares because of Gargoyles. I'm not at all. I was not 18 in 1972. You guys, that's it. You know what? For that shit, you know what? For that comment, Kuzma, for that comment and that comment alone, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make you, I wasn't going to do it and you just pissed me off. Now I'm going to have to do it. Okay. Now I'm going in and I'm doing something I wasn't going to do. And you're all going to be all angry and be like, he's doing it again. Weber's giving us the shit. He didn't need to do this, but now you guys asked for it and here it comes. Screw you. Screw you, Kuzma. This was me earlier at the gym. And by the way, I'm always waiting. Screw it. I'm going to leave this on for the rest of the show. I'm done with this. In fact, I'm going to actually make that the entire screen. I'm going to disappear. Let me explain. I'm not even on the screen anymore. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to now, because Kuzma pissed me off, I'm going to make you guys stare at this for the remainder of the stream. That's all you're going to look at. This was me. And by the way, I always wait whenever I post one of these shirtless after the gym pump pictures. Whenever I do this, I'm always waiting for someone to go, oh, look, there's Photoshop. Because guess what, guys? I got news for you. You know why no one's done that? Because it's not there. It's not, there's no Photoshop. I picked one of the Twitter, filters, but I don't touch the picture at all. There's zero adjustment to that. Okay, so yeah, you know what? And here's the thing. Here's the reason I show these. And Kuzma, it's your fault. I'm gonna make sure everyone knows Kuzma's to blame. It's not. It's Kuzma's fault. I didn't say I wanted to do this. I wasn't even gonna do it. And then you guys, Kuzma came in here and said I'm old as shit. Screw you, Kuzma. Here's the deal. I'm just going to tell you guys that this is hard work. I'm not going to pretend it's not. But I'm also going to tell you this. It is attainable. It's going to take you a long time. It's not going to be a 5-minute thing. It's not going to be a 1-week thing. It's not going to be a 1-month thing. It's not going to be a 1-year thing. It's going to be a 5-year plan. If I were to get you on the 5-year plan, you could get in the neighborhood, because I've done this now for 20 plus years. I know what works and what does not in the gym. And I can tell you the number one tip that every guy does in the gym wrong is that they go in there and they try to impress others with how much they lift, and they end up lifting outside the muscle. What does that mean? When they get in there, they throw 225 on the bench press, and they load it and they push it for like 1 or 2 reps. Yeah, that gets you nowhere. Nothing. It gets you nowhere. You need to live inside the muscle. Joe Weider used to talk about mind-muscle connection. When you're lifting weights, you're literally thinking about whatever the body part is that you are working, so that you're inside of the muscle, really getting the most out of it. So your reps on this are going to be more like 15, let's say 12 to 20. And you're going to go more for exhaustion, and you're going to be living inside the muscle. We can do a whole stream on this. Sometime I'll just do it because I know a lot of you are like, okay, I want to talk movies. I get it. But what I want to point out, and then I'm going to stop. I won't show the picture anymore, is I want to point out that you can do both. You can enjoy movies and you can look like you could be in a Marvel film. It's possible. Okay. And that's what I want you guys to know. And by the way, I'm also doing this for the people, whenever I post a short, they go, the other day there's a comment, he looks like Robert Downey Jr. only if he starved himself for 25 days. I'm like, time out. On this stream, I'm not going to lie to you, I do look pretty thin, right? I mean, I'm not like a big guy, but here's what I want to tell you. I'm also not like 125 pounds. This picture is unaltered and it was from today. It's not from like 6 years ago. It's from today. It's literally in the parking garage of my gym today. So, I mean, it's possible. So this is to all the people out there like, he looks like Robert Downey Jr., only like 100 pounds skinnier. First of all, one more time, then I'm leaving it. Does Robert Downey Jr. look like that? Did he ever look like that? No, never. That's kind of cool. I like that. Watch this. Boo! Look who just showed up. So that's it. That's why I'm doing that. I mean, I might be enjoying. No, because listen, then I'll get off this. I'm not going to go any further. The reason I want you guys to see this is because I need you use it as motivation. In life, you have 2 options. When you see something that you admire, maybe you don't admire, whatever. I'm just saying if you do. If you do, you have 2 choices. 1, hate and go, oh, fuck that. I don't like that. That guy's an asshole. Or 2, you know what? I admire that, and I want to use that as motivation for me. That's how I run. In fact, when I go to the gym, I got to be honest with you guys. I actually go in there, and I have in my mindset, I have this like competitive, I create competition. So when I go in there, I see the gym, and I join a gym that's full of like famous TikTokers, Instagrammers. Jodie Foster works out there. I know, and it's so cool. Like Jodie Foster. And all kinds of people. I've seen A-Rod was in there. I mean, all these people. But what I do is I create competition in my head going, okay, you over there, really? You think you're that? I got this shit. Bang. And in a way, it doesn't matter. Whatever it takes to get you to that next level, as long as you're not hurting anybody, whatever it takes you to get to that point, do it. Go do it. You know, when I started this stream, I was like, oh yeah, Grace Randolph, you have 7 million subscribers. I'm going to get 1,900 subscribers. And we did it. But you guys know what I'm saying. Whatever you need to motivate you, as long as you're not hurting other people, go for it, man. I don't care what it is. If it's vanity, go. If it's health, go. If it's the fact that you want to look better for your ex-girlfriend, go. Whatever it is. And not just working out, anything in life. You want to start a YouTube channel, go for it. I encourage you to do that. Don't be afraid. Life is not lived through fear. Life is lived through stepping into the void and going, bring it to me. And I think it's what people, when they come on Twitter, they realize, like I said earlier, 99% of critics are hot trash. That's like super strong. Some would argue like over the line. But the reality is I'm going to say that because, first of all, I do believe it might not be 99%. It's a lot. But the point is I'm going to keep it there and I'm not going to move off of it. I think there's a lot of power in that because a lot of people are like, I don't know, it's not really the cool thing to say. And then they realize I don't backtrack. I don't go, no, I was wrong. This is what I said and I'm going to stick with it. And I will stick to any of the stuff about the merit-based stuff. I'm not going to move from that. You can come try to get me and I'm not going to absolutely budge at all. And you got to do that. You got to stand in the hole and take on the middle linebacker. Like I know, I never played tackle football. I was terrible. Kuzma, it is your fault. No, Cruz does not take off his shirt in MI7. Bo should be afraid of me. It's open comment. Let's go another 10. We'll go a little over. We'll go 115 tonight. You got 10 minutes. Anything you want to do. Anything that you want to do, and we will do it. Slacker, I got to get you in there. I think that's fair. I do. But I just, it's fair. It's true. There's nobody else who's even close. There's nobody else in the space that can even touch what I do in the gym. Nobody. It's just the reality of it. I mean, it's not that they couldn't. It's just that they didn't. I've been working out for 20 plus years. You don't, this doesn't happen overnight. It just, you have to bust your ass and be dedicated and do all the work. But most of the critics don't, and most of them are kind of schlubby. That's just the reality of it. It's fine. I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'm just saying that's just the reality of it. But yes, Kuzma, it is your fault. Kuzma, 100%. Each one. Yeah. Listen, Ashley, what's funny? I actually thought about this because I am so, God, is the word flamboyant? I feel like if you're out there, reality TV people, I would love to do a series. You guys would be like, this guy is crazy. Because I think you all know that by now. There's something a little bit different about that dude. And I think that would make for interesting television. Because they'd be like, what the hell? This is weird. And I understand that. I know it's not normal. But own who you are. This is who I am. And what you see on the stream is nothing is held back. How often do you watch a stream? Don't make me say his name. I'm not going to say his name. And you get guys like, hey guys, I love this movie. It's so good. I just thought about it. It's really fun. And Joyride, just a blast. I love the girl. And you're like, that's fake. You're not a real person. What are you doing? Who is that? You're artificial. You're freaking me out, creeping me out. When you watch this channel, there's one thing that you're going to see from going all the way back to the beginning. You're going to see somebody who is, if you meet me at a bar, you're going to get the exact same person that you get here on the stream in the bar. And maybe for the worst of it, ask Gore. My God, we got into it. Oh, I will admit this. I'm not going to lie. I get really passionate about my movies, and I get borderline. Well, you guys, come on. We all remember my reaction to Beau Was Afraid. I get furious when other people don't see the issues that are readily present in a film. And No Hard Feelings is the perfect example. I lost it on that, and I still will, because I'm tired of people watching a film like No Hard Feelings and going, it's fine, it's a comedy. It's not well directed. It's poorly edited. It's got no sense of feel and calibration. And the fact that you don't see that disappoints me, especially someone who's a film person. It's there. You have to see it. And the problem is, I think we're almost too good at seeing the flaws. And when that happens and other people can't see it, you get frustrated and you get agitated. And I definitely admit I've done that. And I definitely have stepped over the line and said, it's not personal. It's just like, how the fuck do you not see that No Hard Feelings is terribly directed by Gene? It's at best a C- direction job. And here's why I'm angry. And I got into it today on Twitter, and someone actually came back last night. Here's the tweet. Let me pull it up, because this is actually a good conversation to have. I will move off of me shirtless. I know you guys are like, great, that's good. Thank you. Thanks for doing that, Weber. We didn't need to see any more. No more thirst traps from you, which is fair. There's quite a few. Okay. This is a hard tweet. This is going hard on something, and I don't mind doing this, and let me explain. I'm going to read the tweet, and I'm going to tell you my thinking. This is right after I sold Joyride. An additional note on Joyride. This is how you direct a comedy. Makes No Hard Feelings look even worse than it already is. That film is abysmally directed. Makes that hack watch Joyride for tips should he ever find himself behind a camera again. Hopefully never. That's brutal. I'm not going to lie to you. That is taking Gene Stupnitsky and destroying his talent. But here's the thing. Here's why I did that, and here's why I am so furious. Okay, actually the tweet was deleted, and it's okay. Actually, I wasn't going to someone came in who says, I value your opinion. The tweet that was deleted here said, hey, Eric, I value your opinion, but it's a little harsh to call him a hack. And I would admit maybe that's a little bit hard, but let me explain, because I think this does it well. There's zero feel to the film, to No Hard Feelings. And what that means is it doesn't have it's missing the natural comedic touch that you're looking for from any director who has a remote bit of talent at directing comedy. Look at what, and I would argue Elizabeth Banks as well, and Cocaine Bear's poorly directed across the board. Look at what Lord and Miller are able to do. It's the timing, it's the calibration. And I know calibration is a very complex word to describe one thing, but listen, let's just break it down like this. It's the feel. It's the precision of the film in delivering the intention of the director. And No Hard Feelings has zero calibration. It's chaotic with terrible calibration. Hollywood has far too many talented people to see marginal talents at best get ahead. That's why I get so angry and so agitated and so passionate, and some would argue overly passionate about this stuff, is that ultimately I want the best film possible. So if that means we have to be mean to Gene because he doesn't have any feel whatsoever for how to direct a comedy, so be it. We can't be nice anymore. We need to be more direct and more fearless in our evaluations and telling people the reality of it. Call me, I'll get to this in a second. Call me the Simon Cowell of this space, because what does he do? A lot of people don't like him. What he does, and you'd say he crushes dreams. Well, yes, but he crushes the dreams of people who really have no business in the space. We need to go back to evaluating things on merit and not saying you're great, Johnny, because you're a person. No, Johnny, actually, you're not that great at this. You're better at this. We need to stop saying everyone's great at everything, because that's not the reality. The reality is there are people who are better at what you do than you are. And trust me, when I say that, I'm talking about me. But I'm also better than a lot of people. You have to know that you also have some talent in the area. There's a lot of people who want to do something and I hate the cliche, but here it is, stick the square peg in the round hole, and it doesn't work because no one has told them they're not that good at it. And unfortunately, life is not nice. Gen X will tell you that. Ken Murray, he's probably out enjoying the fourth. I always use Murray because he's a Gen Xer like me, and he's been a long time MMT viewer. We were told straight to our face, you're terrible. We were cut from teams. Whatever it was, we were just dealt with hard realities. We weren't like, we're going to have everybody make the team because it would be mean to cut somebody. We got a list of like, you're not on the team, dude. You're not playing. And not only you're not playing, you're not even here. We don't even want you at the facility because you're not good. Listen, you guys ready for a story? Never told this story. Sham, I'll get this. I'm gonna tell you this story. No more show of the week. Because there's a lot of critics who suck, and I'm right. You guys know it. Give me a like if you agree. Most critics really suck at doing this. They're not talented. It goes to what we just said. They don't possess talent. Just because you want to be a critic doesn't mean you're good at it, man. You have to be fearless. You have to be unafraid of telling it like it is, and that includes saying a movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once is hella overlong and repetitive to the point where it tears the film to shreds over the last 30 minutes. Most critics are afraid because they're like, well, it's a film directed by, the whole fucking story I don't want to do. They're afraid. I'm not afraid, and I'm never going to be afraid. Here's the story. So when I was in high school, and anybody who from St. Charles and Columbus will verify this, I wrestled for 1 year, my sophomore year of high school. I wrestled, and I was terrible. I mean, guys, I got my ass whipped over and over and over. I was so bad, they let me practice, and then I actually wrestled one match, and I lost. Every other match in practice, I lost. Everything. I was terrible at wrestling. But what wrestling taught me was two things, okay? Number one is that it's hard. Like, you guys remember Vision Quest? Practice was a bitch. They had us climbing ropes. And you wonder one of the reasons why I'm still in shape, because of wrestling. Every day after school, I had to go in there and get in there and get rough with dudes and get my ass handed to me. I was skinny. I still am not very huge. You see the picture? It's bigger than it was, but I'm not like some gigantic jack guy. I don't ever want to be either. I'm like exactly what I am, just lean and mean. But when I was in wrestling, we had to climb ropes, lift weights, do all this conditioning. So I carried that all the way through to today. And the other thing that wrestling taught me is you are on your fucking own in this life. You can have other people that help you here and there. You got your family, hopefully. You have some friends. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's you alone. And that is the reality of it. So when I was in wrestling, adopted the lone wolf mentality. And my friends out here will even tell you this. Weber kind of does his own thing. I don't like hanging out in big groups. I like to just be one-on-one with people. Like if I'm with Gore by himself, even though we're in a little bit of a tiff right now, I'm not saying I'm not to blame. I'm just telling you I am. I like it. When Gore brings 5 other friends, I'm like, I'm out. In fact, there's one time during the COVID lockdown where Gore showed up and then he goes, by the way, my friend, what's his name's coming over. And I was just like, I'm going to leave. Because that's just my choice. And I think the other thing that you need to remember in this life is it's okay to not want to do something, right? So, or do something by yourself. There's nothing wrong. Like last night I went to Joyride by myself. I walked into the AMC by myself. I sit down in the theater and most people are there with the date or with their friend or whatever. I'm like, I'm just gonna go see Joyride. I don't need somebody else. You don't need to have like someone next to you all the time. And you can make it without it. So adopt a little bit of a lone wolf mentality. And I'm sure you guys have probably guessed everything I just told you. You're like, no shit, we can tell by watching the stream. It's exactly who you are. That said, I like to be, it's not like I don't want to be social. It's just like I'm very choosy about the situations. And I think it goes back to ultimately, and I know you guys are going to like lose your shit when I tell you this. I'm an introvert. I'm an extroverted introvert. So what you see here is me being very intimate with like one person, right? It's you and me. It's not like me in front of an audience. It's not like if I had to do this exact same show right now and they put me on a stage or put me in front of like the IMAX at Burbank and there's like 300 people staring at me, I would be like, I would be much more self-conscious and conscious, and I would not be as loose as I am. I think the reason that I can just go directly here is because I'm just approaching it like I'm talking to one person. And that's how it is. It's like a one-on-one conversation. And I think you guys know if there's one thing I don't think anyone else does better than me is be authentic as hell and be real and fearless and all of those things. And that's why the channel continues to build, continues to grow. Because people watch it like, hey, listen, we can say a lot of shit about Weber. The one thing we cannot say is that guy is real. That guy is authentic. That guy is fearless. He says shit other people won't say. And I have no shits. I don't care at all about what someone thinks about me, because ultimately I'm going to live my life based on what I think is the right thing to do, and not like selfishly for me, but based on principles that have been instilled in me since I was a tiny kid in Gahanna, Ohio. Those principles still lead me today. I'm uncompromisable and I can't be purchased. And the studios know that. And they're like, we don't know what to do with this guy because he will not go with what we want to do. I will never fall in line with the group if I believe it to be the wrong thing. And I'm going to absolutely, based on what we deal with the last few years, going forward, whatever happens next, I will never go along with the group to get along. It'll never happen. We need more people like that. And I hope you guys appreciate that about the channel, because that's what we do. Marvin, thank you for the super chat. A few more super chats. We're going to get out of here. If Tarantino was smart, he'd make the movie about me. It'd be the weirdest film ever. But okay, I got it. I'm going to get super chats. I'm going. The mother character alone is way better. Yeah, listen, Rachel, thank you. I know you know this. Please, Rachel, by the way, can I say this? Rachel's reviews. I just said 99% of the critics out there suck. I am going to give my MMT stamp of approval without question, zero hesitation, to give this to Rachel, because she is fearless. She believes. We might disagree, but what I know about Rachel is she believes what she says. She does not say things to be liked or to get over or to get views. And that is something to be proud of. And Rachel, you're badass. And we need more people like you. And so, and you know this, Elemental is not remotely as strong as Ruby Gillman. And I know you understand that because I know you're an animation person. And kudos to you for calling it right. Turning Red is the movie that Ruby Gillman wishes it were. And that is really a strong statement. And when you watch Ruby Gillman and you watch Turning Red, you will be on my side. None of you saw it. It made $6 million this weekend. Rachel has my back on this. It's great. Support her site, by the way. We need more people like Rachel in here. A young picture of me. I'd be really thin. But then again, remember, I know, right? Jaffo, crazy, introverted. What the, right? But it's true. Is ask anybody. Gore will tell you this if he's still talking to me. Nothing crazy. I went off on him about no hard feelings. I'm not going to lie. I went hard. I told you guys, I get passionate, man. I get angry when people don't see what I see. And Rachel, that's why I'm loving you even more, because you saw Ruby Gillman. You see how much better that film is than Elemental, how much better it is than Turning Red. Yet I'm being told by half the critics, it's right of the mill. What are you guys doing? And that's what made me say 99% of the critics are bad. Ruby Gillman is fun. It has a ton of life in it. The voices are great. It's one of the better animated films I have seen since Soul. I think it's the second best. I love Soul. It's there along. Obviously, Spider-Verse is a different thing. I don't even consider Spider-Verse with the typical animated film. Like I would put, obviously, you guys know, I'd put a Sing. I'd put, most Pixar films, any kind of DreamWorks or any of those Illumination. Those are all in the same thing. Spider-Verse is art. Spider-Verse is next level. It is not just an animated film. It is artistic value of one of the very high level for cinema. So it's more than just an animated film. But Ruby Gillman's great. Guys, go see it. It's really good. No, going with friends is fun. I have, great. There's some good people that I like. You guys know that. Listen, listen. I'm gonna. Okay, since we're already off the deep end, and I'm like, I don't even care at this point. There is a account I follow on Twitter called Nibiru Watcher, or I'll see if I can find it and I'll retweet something. This person is convinced, and through pictures, that this Planet X / Nibiru is right outside of our solar system, outside of us. And one of the reasons everything's going to shit right now is that the world is about ready to have some kind of cataclysmic event. Think Greenland. God, that movie is not good. But just think Greenland. Did anyone watch that movie with Gerard Butler during the lockdown? Think Greenland in real life. If that, I'm just telling you guys, it kind of makes sense because look at what's happening to the world, and you go, why is everything going to hell? Well, think about it. If the people at the highest positions know that we're fucked, like there's some shit's coming that's going to end the planet, then they're like, I quit. We said this before, and no one else is doing this on this channel, on this stream. But think about this for a minute. Based on what we're seeing in France and spreading across the world, if you look at how everybody's just kind of giving up and everything's going to shit, right? We can agree that's what's happening. What would be one of the reasons that you would want that to happen or not care, that you know it's over, right? I don't even think I'd go to the gym tomorrow if I knew that we were going to get hit by Planet Nibiru like Thursday. I'd be like, I'm not going to go to the gym today. What's it matter? See? I mean, if I'm giving up on the gym, then you know that the higher ups are giving up on everything. But think about that. Just tell me you understand in the comments, because now I'm at the point where I'm just going to start rambling about shit, and it's going to turn into the weird segment because I don't care. If you knew that the world was about ready to undergo a cataclysmic event, would you give a shit about anything? Like, what would you do? You would, first of all, you'd stop caring about anything. You would go out. I would probably, right off the bat, I would probably start drinking this and finish it right now. I would finally polish off, this is how a heavy drink. I've had 2 sips out of this. The Midsummer vodka, the Skull. And then I would just go out in the street and just like run around naked, because it doesn't matter. The world's over. But that's how the leaders are approaching it. I'm just telling you guys. I might have missed oh yeah, that's a good point, Johnny. Let's talk about that on Tuesday. I don't have the energy to get into that, but I agree that I'm going to get to this. Meg YouTube, I'll go back to the thing, I promise. Yeah, the de-aging, well, it's not, listen, it's better. I don't think it was as bad as people think. The problem is it's too long. The opening segment, that the prologue is forever, right? That takes 20 minutes. It should be 5. Mangold shows no feel for this film. He doesn't have the whimsical wonder needed. And it starts with bringing that shitty Holbrook actor into the film. That was another mistake. Mangold, your stock, I have not, I don't know if we've encountered a director who's had their stock go from Ford Ferrari right there, right? Do you see it? It's right there. Ford Ferrari to this. Ford Ferrari is a very strong film. I love everything about it. I really like the cinematography of that film. I remember talking to Faden. The cinematographer who shot that? He has an interesting name. I talked to him for like a half an hour at an event, and I told him how much I love Ford Ferrari for the cinematography. And I remember having this discussion with him. You guys seen Ford Ferrari? If you haven't watched it, it's another of the must-sees tonight, along with Gargoyles. Talk about a 1-2. What other channel's telling you to watch Gargoyles and Ford versus Ferrari? There's a scene in Ford Ferrari where his son, Christian Bale's son, and him are having a conversation on an airstrip on a runway. And it's like the last shred of light. The sun is right, the horizon's here, and it's just coming down. And it's like they have like literally 5 seconds until the sun's down. And Mangold's shooting, Faden, or with cinematographer, he's very good. And I asked him, I said, how many takes did you have? And first thing he said to me was, no one has asked me that. And you noticed. I'm like, this is what we bring to the table. We told you, the magic eye, right? Looking at everything and seeing all of the shit, seeing the entire picture, and then through and noticing shots like that on the runway. The sun's down. You have like one last chance at this. The magic hour is expiring. And Bale is there with his son, and they're having the conversation, and he goes, we had like one take. And thank God Christian Bale is as good as he is. One of the best actors, right? Can we all agree? Christian Bale, maybe the best pure actor that we have in Hollywood. And he said that he's so talented and so good that they nailed it. If he had had anyone else like me, oh my God, as an actor, if you told me to memorize shit, I'm bad. In fact, when I try to make a video that's not live, I'm like, shit, redo. When you go live, you just don't have a net. You have no choice but to go. If I was in a movie, I'd be like, that wasn't right. Let me do it again. They're like, dude, this is take number 50. So, which is weird, right? You would think it'd be the other way around, but there's something freeing about the ability to just go and not think about and filter yourself. You just shoot, and a lot of times it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Maybe it's 50-50. But Christian Bale. But look at James Mangold, Ford versus Ferrari, and then this. And I know some of you are going to come in and you're going to say, well, it's a Disney movie and it's Lucasfilm, so Mangold had no creative control. Bullshit. Mangold has too big of an ego. I've interacted with him on Twitter. That man is not going to sit back as someone tells him what to do. He would be the kind of guy who, when Kathleen Kennedy said blah, he's like, oh, no, you don't. This is what I think. That's Mangold. So I don't believe that for a second. Mangold's stock has dropped like in half after Destiny, the Dial of Disaster. My bad. Your stock is half of what it was because the number one reason is for no other reason than this. You made your movie 30 fucking minutes too long. That is an unforgivable sin. And you know why you did that, Mangold? Because you and your ego got in the way of what made a film better, which means subtracting film from your final product. These directors can't get out of their own way. And I swear to you, one day I'm going to get in there and I'm going to say, cut your film down. And they're going, no, you're going to cut your film down. And if you don't cut it down, we're not going to release it. I'm out of the room. Make your decision. These directors, you can't give them this much freedom. Not Mangold, not after this. And if you, Mangold, if you want to go one-on-one and argue this, if you think that film at 2:30 and the way that it's paced and the feel of that film is just right, dude, you lack the calibration skills that you need for a director. Ford Ferrari's even overlong. But this film, without question, and you guys know I'm right, come in the comments, 30 minutes too long. 30 minutes. Mangold, that is not just a sin. That is a crime, and you need to be put away for a while for that. You can't make a movie that is this boring, 2 hours and 30 minutes. You lack the ability to feel the final product. And that's what we bring to the table here at MMT. I'm telling you, you either have it or you don't. You have to, when you watch a film, you just feel it. It's almost like you're in the film going, this is what works and this is what does not work. And here's why. As you're watching it unfold, so you're paying attention to all the elements. We talk about it so many times. It's magic eye, right? When you're looking at the magic eye, you're like, what the hell is this? Oh, shit. And then you see it. It comes out in 3D. A lot of these directors just can't do that. They need to be able to get that 3D going so you can see all of the elements and go, this is what's not working. Let me turn a little screw here. Let me go here. Let me go here. It's like going to the optometrist and they go, is this better? 1 or 2? Is this better? Turn it right or left. And you're like, 1. And then they're like 1 or 2. They're about the same. Okay, how about this? 3 or 4? That's what you have to do as a director. And the fact that I'm here on a YouTube channel on a Sunday night telling you how to better direct a film is a problem. It shouldn't be happening. But what I just told you is 100% bam, facts. Everything I just said. Be an optometrist. Get in there and calibrate that prescription down to the best -2.5 that you can. In the case of your film, you gave us like a -8 prescription when we really needed a -4.25. Best moment ever in MMT history, that moment. Nobody has ever said those words in that order in the history of mankind. Comparing the calibration of a film to an optometrist visit and the 1 or 2, 3 or 4, the calibration of your prescription. I need, no joke at this point, that deserves a share for that moment alone. And I was going to end the stream. This is where it gets better. This is when we just start riffing and I start calling Mangold out for having no ability to calibrate his film. I'm right. So don't even bother, Mangold, coming after me. You're wrong. You're 100% wrong. And the fact that you had a $300 million film to completely miscalibrate is a major problem. I mean, it's not just a small problem. It is a problem that has to be fixed with these studios. You, as a studio, have to take control. I almost said something that you guys are going to lose your shit over. As much shit as we give Kathleen Kennedy, I would give her props if she would have told James Mangold to lose 30 minutes or we're not releasing the Dial of Disaster. Come on. You guys with me on that? Can we all get on the same page? As much as we don't love what Kathleen Kennedy has done to so many of the Lucasfilm brands, what's left? Nothing. We can agree that if she just would have told and demanded that James Mangold loses 30 minutes from the Dial of Disaster, we might praise her. But she didn't, so we're not going to do that. Okay, Sham, if you guys come in with, I can't say no to a super chat, but then we're going to end the stream. When the super chats end, the stream's over. You make sure I didn't miss any. Give me a second. Producer Nate took off like a half an hour ago. This is like back to MMT from 2022 at this point. Let me make sure. Okay, I got Marvin's super sticker. You guys are awesome. There's so many good comments here. Let's go here. What does Roger Ebert mean to you? I didn't go to that. Oh man, do I have to do all these super chats? Can I just, by the way, can I stop for just a minute? I want to do this, and I know it's going to be mean, and I know you guys are going to get, some of you are going to like come after me, and I don't mind because I'm used to that. Can we talk for a minute about this John Flickinger guy? Can we just talk for just be straight up? Okay, so I don't watch the guy. I barely know who it is. But apparently someone direct messaged me and said, by the way, he started something called Late Night Movie Talk. And I'm like, what? Fuck, what is that? What are you talking about? And apparently he's been on YouTube forever. He's like a long time YouTuber. Doesn't mean he's good, but he's long time. And he started now doing this thing called Late Night Movie Talk. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that is a straight up rip. Like, that is you literally watching or hearing about the show, and then I'll just make my own movie talk. But here's the problem. Not only is that ridiculous and stupid and makes you look like an idiot, here's the problem. Watch that guy. Holy shit, is he boring? I'm like, how the hell do you have 100,000 subscribers? Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. I can tell, like, how did you even fall into this? Like, how did you manage to get 100,000 subscribers? How many are purchased? And how many of these people don't know? He's not good. I mean, live, it's like, what the fuck? What a boring milquetoast show. No edge, zero edge. And I'm sorry if this is mean, but what I just said is all accurate. Sorry, it's true. If we were doing the American Idol of film critics, I'm like, John Flickinger, dude, you're out of here. Goodbye. You're gone. Boring. Boring. Someone want to defend him? Come on in. Come in. Come in and defend him. Come on, guys. I know some of you watch him. So come. No. Come. Bring it. I'm ready. Let's go. What does Roger Ebert mean to you? I'm going to answer this in the most unanswered version I can. And this is because I like Gene Siskel. I'm a Gene Siskel guy. You're asking me about Roger Ebert, and all I can talk about is Gene Siskel. I loved their relationship. I watched them growing up. One of the reasons I'm here tonight, big reason, is that show. Watching it on PBS, then in syndication, and then on ABC, going through all the iterations of the show. And then obviously when Gene passed on, A.O. Scott and everybody who came in there, Michael Phillips, I think he's a very good critic. I like Michael Phillips a lot too. But Gene Siskel is my number one film critic of all time. When I watch him speak, when I go back and watch those episodes, I say, I hope that I'm able to at least sort of, even at the most minuscule level, tap into the brilliance of Gene Siskel. He was a fearless man. He was a smart man. I think that he was absolutely passionate about film. We can agree both of them are. But there's something about Gene Siskel that I will always remember the first time going, I love this man's brain. I like how he thinks. I like how he expresses himself. And if you see even just the tiniest glimmer of Gene Siskel in what I do, then that's the biggest compliment that I could ever get, because I think he is the best of all time. He is the GOAT of film critics. So I know I didn't talk about Ebert. I think Ebert's very strong. I just identify more with the Siskel, probably because I was the skinny guy. I don't know. I mean, there's that too. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Well, whatever. Maybe they were. Maybe they're. What? Flickinger's tight with Stuckman. Two boring guys. I know they're old school. I get it, but it doesn't mean they're good. I mean, they're fine, but I don't find them interesting or compelling or, I mean, when I watch the Midnight Movie Talk or whatever he calls it, something late night movie talk. And I started watching it and I was listening to him. I'm like, my God, this guy's boring. Like, he doesn't have an edge. And you know why? Because he's afraid. And that's the problem. John, if someone says this to you, let me give you some advice. Don't be afraid to speak your mind, because you can tell that you are stepping on the brakes. Do not step on the brakes. The brakes are for weak asses. You ride the gas and you don't think twice and you don't hit reverse. You go full throttle forward. And I'm telling you, the reason the channel grows, the reason that more and more of you are joining, and you guys are smart, you're the smartest group out there by far, it's not even close, is because we are the only channel out there that is fearless in addressing these things. I'm talking about anything. We just talked about all kinds of shit, but the one thing you always get is, if I'm going to say it, I believe it. If we get a sponsor on the show, it will be a sponsor that I want to have. It'll not be a sponsor that pays me. It'll be a sponsor that I want to have. I just shilled for Walmart Seltzer because it's awesome. They're not paying me. I don't give a shit. I believe in the product. That's how we roll. The football shirts, I love them. They give joy to me. When I go out in public wearing one of these, like great example tonight, Aston Villa, right? Not Manchester United, not Man City, not Real Madrid, not Barcelona. None of these. It's a smaller, granted, Premier League team, but I'm telling you, every time I wear something like this out, there's somebody who comes up to me and goes, holy shit, I've never seen one of those. Where'd you get it? Because they're not obvious. And I think that's the channel too. We're not obvious. We are the niche channel. We are the underdogs. And that's what this channel will always be. But we're also fearless and we're also knowledgeable. And we will continue to push forward. Like Chris Pine says, and don't worry, darling, we are going forward. By the way, don't worry, darling's good. I don't want to argue about this shit. I've talked about Chris Stuckman. He doesn't shill. It's not Mega YouTube. It's not that he shills. He's boring. Movie Talk Live. Okay, whatever. I don't care. It's fine. I'm just telling you, he's kind of boring. It's fine. You guys can like him. It's fine. You can like. We can. It's okay. I could be wrong. I just am opinionated as hell. Rachel knows. Rachel, I've gotten into it before. She'll send me a tweet and she'll be like, "I totally disagree." And I'm like, "Good. It's cool. I don't mind. You can say you're wrong. I don't give a shit." Is he nostalgia influence? Well, of course, he's one of the first. He's OG, right? Thank you, Jaffa. Authenticity. That's what we do. I mean, I don't think anybody is. I just don't think there is. There's nobody that I've seen out there that does what we do because we're objective. And that's the thing is that people don't realize is when they watch the channel, they always go, you know, what's weird. I remember I told you this. I tell you all the time. I had a director that I discuss things with on Twitter, direct message, and direct messaged me one day and goes, you know what? I can never figure out what you're going to say about a film. Like every time I think that you're going to say X, you say Y. Everything, you know, whatever it is. And I said, well, that's objectivity. That's because I go into it without an agenda. I go into it just looking for the best possible film, a merit-based evaluation. And that's why you never know what I'm going to do because we're going to one time hammer a film that you call woke and then the next time say that it was fine, right? No better example than Little Mermaid. How many people said Little Mermaid terrible? Oh my God. No, Little Mermaid's not bad. Okay. Is it a great film? No, but it's also not a terrible film. And Haley is good, especially her voice. That first song in my, what's the song? I don't want it. You know, that song. That's like great cinema. That's a very strong moment. Like you feel it when you hit, and you guys know who've been here for a long time, when you hit the ping the top of the meter, when you are in the stratosphere in any moment in the film, and when she's singing that song in Little Mermaid, it's great, and that is enough for me to recommend that moment alone. But the problem is when you sell yourself as being woke or that's your whole brand, right? No matter what it is, it's got to be bad because it has. That's a bad place because then you're not real, right? You are becoming some kind of product that's not authentic. You are becoming a huckster, right? What's the thing? You know, we have too many of these people in the world. The frauds, right? Because their whole persona is created to generate a reaction because of whatever that is, right? So they know that if everything is anti-woke, then that's going to get them views or likes or whatever. That's not how this is. You guys know that because I'll go on and defend Little Mermaid and you guys are like, oh shit, what the hell? But then I'll turn around and say, you know, Strange World was terrible. And it's not because it's woke, it's just terrible. But you never know what you're going to get. And that's because we're objective. And because we are fair and we are balanced and we are not Fox News. Michael, you're going to do... I did say that if you give me a super chat, I won't end the stream. I did say that. Yeah. I did say that. Fine, I'll keep going. I don't give a shit at this point. I mean, whatever. Let's go at least 2 hours. How about that? We'll go 2 hours for that. But you got to come on with super chats or I'm going to stop. MMT is Gen X. What's the best thing you could ask for? Speaking as a person who disagrees a lot, we Gen X have opinion at least. Yeah, right. I mean, that SSSRR. Welcome back, by the way. It's been a while, I think, or I just haven't seen you I haven't hit the button because I haven't been producing it. Rachel, I'm not wrong about Hurt My Feelings. It's just flat. It's just such a boring film. It could have been good. It wasn't funny for sure. It just wasn't. I missed super chats. Hold on. Sorry. This is what happens when my producer leaves. My producer Nate's like, I'm out of here. I did sham, right? Yeah, we did this. I outed 99% of the critics except for Rachel, Menzel. I mean, I think Menzel and I are like, and I think that Scott Mendelson's a terrible film critic. I mean, literally one of the worst, but I love Scott. He's like a good person and he actually believes what he says. I know that. And he doesn't say things for reactions. And I like that for that. And by the way, I don't either. When I say I absolutely wanted to rip the screen down during Beau is Afraid, that's how I felt. That's not an act. I can't do it. When I came out of No Hard Feelings and went after gore it's because he didn't see the film's terribly directed. Edward, you must have a day off tomorrow. You're here. It's a shame because Magazine Dreams, it's not going to get released. Magazine Dreams is dead because of the fact that these allegations against Jonathan Majors are directly to the character that he plays in Magazine Dreams, right? He is a violent guy in this film, which is what he is being accused of being by 40 people that Rolling Stone talked to. So there's no way that film's dead. Poor Searchlight. They spent all this money on that film, and then it's dead. It's over. It's over. They just ran an episode of Jimmy Kimmel last week before the Rolling Stone piece broke, where he and Dominic Fishback were talking about what a great guy Jonathan Majors was. Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, look, hey, we talked about remember? Listen, that's very curious to me what you're saying, Edward, because remember when you have a situation like, hey, here's Dominic Fishback saying that he's a good guy. Interesting that that's back on television. Why would they pick that as a rerun, right, from March? Why would they pick that episode? This is what we do better than anyone, and I know you just let me hear, Edward, but I'm telling you, we put pieces together really well. We would be good detectives. Who owns ABC? Who produces Marvel films? Jimmy Kimmel's on what network? There's a rerun saying Jonathan Majors is a good guy. I'm not saying it's directly the reason why it was rerun, but think about that for a minute. Who benefits from someone coming on a rerun of Jimmy Kimmel from March saying that Jonathan Majors is a good guy? Marvel, Disney, ABC. At some point, they're going to come and shut me down. They're going to shut the show down because we pierce the truth more directly than any other movie show. Like, it's like what that moment alone. And by the way, we've had like about 100. This stream's been like, I think it's solid. I think this is one of the decent streams. There's been plenty of shitty ones. Is that we just nailed, thank you, Edward, because this is what I need to work with. And once you give me the pieces, we put it together in a way that most people can't see. And that goes back to the evaluations. We're able to see things others can't. And that is our bane of existence, is the ability to identify small things and see how they fit into the larger puzzle. That is trouble for the powers that be. Thank you, Edward. That was perfect. I didn't say that's why it was on. I'm just telling you that makes sense. Brian, welcome to the channel. I don't know if he's guilty or not. I'm just telling you that this article let me bring it up again. This article is bad. This Rolling Stone article is really bad. For those of you just joining us, we've been talking about Jonathan Majors. By the way, we're going on an hour and 45. If this stream's got a lot, if you missed any of it, just rewatch it. Tomorrow. This stream has this. I think if there's any stream that demonstrates the versatility of Midnight Movie Talk, it's this one. We have gone every which way you can imagine, and I believe that we were accurate almost across the board on everything. Go back and we look at this article on Jonathan Majors, Rolling Stone. I talked about it a little bit ago, quickly. 40 different sources discussing this with Rolling Stone. 3-month investigation. They're saying that he is a complicated, unpredictable, and sometimes violent man. That's the problem. We got complicated. I got unpredictable. I understand. Oh wait, violent. No one's coming out saying Weber's violent. Yeah, he gets angry. He gets really passionate about his film takes, but violent. Like, I didn't grab Gore and smash him in the face with a beer bottle the other night. I got angry with him because I was like, dude, no hard feelings, sucks, and because the direction's terrible. But I didn't like physically assault Chris Gore. That's where the line is crossed here, right? Everyone we know in our lives is complicated and mercurial and whatever else, unpredictable, right? But not violent. And that's the pattern here. And you go, look, remember, he was at Yale, David Geffen School of Drama. He was involved in physical altercations and continued to the sets of movies and TV shows where production members raised concerns over his treatment of the crew. You guys, I'm going to, we're an hour and 47 odd seconds into this. I'm just going to say it. How is Jonathan Majors not canceled? After reading this Rolling Stone article, I am left with no other choice than to, with 40 different sources on this exclusive article that's being buried by the algorithm, I am led to believe, and I have no choice but to say, I don't think we can continue with Jonathan Majors. It's too troubling. It's too much, too many people corroborating. God, that's a fun word to say. What is, he's violent. And so how is he still not canceled? How is Marvel sticking by him? I can tell you why. Because they know that if he's canceled and he has to go as Kang, you got to reshoot Loki season 2. You got to recast Kang Dynasty. You got to do all this work they don't want to do. If you had imagine you just got done shooting a film, right? And you're done. You're like, my God, this film's good. Let's just assume it's good. And you're like, I'm really proud of this film. And then someone comes and says, oh, by the way, your supporting actor that's in 50% of the film is accused of throwing his girlfriend on the floor. You're like, I didn't hear what you just said. I mean, there's a part of you that wants to do that, right? You want to say, because you just made the film, you don't want to hear that. I'm not saying you say that. I'm saying there's no doubt in your mind you're going to have one thought is going to be, I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me that. I don't want to know. Like, we've seen that in so many movies. Like, don't even tell me that. I don't want to know. Just keep it to yourself. Because now you have to go back and redo your entire film. And because you can't just go, remember that, what was all the money in the world? Remember they had to go back in and shoot Kevin Spacey out of that. They had to what a nightmare. I never even saw that film, by the way. Because I knew it was dead once they had to redo all the recast and do all. So Marvel doesn't want to deal. So I don't blame Marvel for not saying he's out. I don't blame him at all. I'd probably do the same thing. But this Rolling Stone article is really bad. I mean, it is. Anytime, let me just say, okay, can I just say this and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Just listen, guys. We just talked about being unvarnished, truthful, and all the things that entails. Just answer me a question and come in and I'll let you guys can tell me here. If I were accused of going back 10 years, people coming out and saying Weber was physically violent with people on the set of a film he worked on the set of a show. And he was not a jerk, because that's one thing. I mean, I don't care. If you're a jerk, we can figure it out. I don't think it's good to be a purposeful asshole. Like, on purpose, you're going to go and just make things hard for people. But everyone has a bad day. Look at Christian Bale when that whole Terminator thing and the guy crossed his eyesight and he went off. It happens. You're in the middle of a scene. Someone wasn't, you thought was disrespectful. I get it. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about physically violent with somebody. If I were accused of grabbing a woman and choking her, whatever, would I be, you guys would, first of all, the show would be over. I'd be canceled. Everything would be gone. So why are we making exceptions for people that are doing the same thing, whether they're a movie star or not? We can't do that. Everyone must be held to the same standard. And as such, this Rolling Stone article is bad news for Jonathan Majors. There's no other way to spin it. And the fact that it's not being discussed. And here's the thing too. Can I just state this? I need to make sure this is absolutely 100% clear. Don't allow your politics to get involved with something that needs to be objective. Don't, because whatever it is, this has nothing to do with race. What I'm discussing with Jonathan Majors has nothing to do with the fact that he's a black man. It has to do with the fact that he's accused of being physically violent with multiple people during his time going back to Yale and for a decade in numerous projects. Not one bit of that allegation has to do with the fact that he's black. He happens to be black. The allegation is he's physically violent with people, and as such, that's enough. I don't care what the color of your skin is. The allegation of being physical abusive with people is the issue, not the race. You need to separate those two things. They're not connected. It doesn't matter. We're viewing him in the court of law as a human being, not as a black man, a white man, anything. Do you guys get that? Do you guys understand? Why do we do it any other way? If you are doing it another way, you're doing it wrong. And you know you are. You know you are. Because we don't make exceptions for people based on the color of their skin. Whether it's white, black, doesn't matter. We don't. We use the same judgment on everybody because everyone's equal under the eyes of the law. That's what we're told. So as such, read the Rolling Stone article. I can't say it any more succinctly than what I just did. Now I think it's time to really drill down on this. And when we talk about this, it is uncomfortable. It is definitely not what Marvel wants to deal with. But at the end of the day, things happen and we have to always be ready to move whatever it is, whatever you believe in. If all of a sudden new evidence comes out that proves something different, then you need to be able to be open to that and always be critically thinking. And I'm telling you, this article is terrible for Jonathan Majors. It's really, really bad. Really bad. Oh my God, how funny is this? NJ, the producer, is back. If you want to jump in, go ahead, NJ. He said he's back to answer super chats. Are you kidding me? What is happening with this stream, guys? This is crazy. This is kind of fun. This might be my favorite stream I've ever done because it's just like I feel this is as unvarnished as it's ever been, and we're always unvarnished. I feel like tonight I'm just like I don't even care anymore because I don't care. I when we started this channel, I did not start it to censor myself or to say something. And people I can't wait for someone to watch this and go. But the thing is at the end of the day, they watch and they're like, shit, man. He's right. He's right. Would you rather work in set or costume design? Set. Definitely set. Because I like world building. I want to world build. I do not want to costume build. Even though I know that costumes are part of the world. I get it. I love production design, and production design is world building, is set design. I would love to be part of that. Location, scout, those people are invaluable. I think I would be decent at that. But that's a skill. That's a talent. You have to be able to look at something and say, this will work on camera. That takes time. I'm not talented. I don't have that skill, right? When you go in and you look at a building, and if you're a real true location scout, production designer, art designer, you can look at it and go, this isn't going to work. There's not enough space for all the equipment. I just be like, this place is great. And they'd be like, dude, it looks good, but we can't shoot here because look at the neighborhood. There's no parking, just little things. That's I missed your Oscar. Okay. Sorry, Sham. I'll get it. Okay. Here we go. This Nate, producer Nate. Why are you not here? He said he was, and now he's not here. I can see he's not here. I can see him not here. Typical Gen Z. Sham K, I want to know your thoughts on new crop of Academy voters. Taylor Swift, is this beginning of the Oscar becoming People's Choice Awards? There's too many voters. That's the first thing. There's too many voters in the Academy. It's 6,000 or more now? It's a lot. I know they keep adding. You can't have that many people in a group and expect even half of them to be educated on all the films. The problem with the Academy is there's a bunch of people in the Academy who don't take this as seriously as I do, or you do, or most people. Obviously, anyone watching the stream loves films probably more than a lot of these people. A lot of these people don't even watch the films. You know how many times I've gone to an Oscar party? Sham, thank you for the super chat, by the way. You're keeping me on, and for that, I'm not happy, but I'll stay on. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Oh my God. Okay, I'm here. So the Academy Awards, the problem is every year there's something great that doesn't make the short list. Forget nominated. Doesn't make the short list. Go back to last year. Nothing is more to the point than the fact that Empire of Light score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross was not shortlisted. When the single best score of the entire year is not on your short list, it's time to blow the fucking thing up. It's over. You guys are done. It's over. You're all out. Like, whatever branch does the nominating or the short list, you need me in there. You can't miss that bad. there's misses you can be like, let's say like the 10th best or the 15th best score doesn't get in. But when the number one overall seed does not make the tournament, you have failed. And the Academy Awards repeatedly fail because they don't even watch half these films, or they have the inability to extract elements of films that are flawed and use them in awards. And we talk about Empire of Light. How many people have stolen this whole thought that I had? I explained it. Everyone's like, I'm going to steal that. No, I did it. I talked about it first. When you watch a film like Empire of Light, you have to have the ability to extract individual elements of the film that are great and to use those in awards categories. Empire of Light, from a screenplay perspective, not good. So many flaws. Tries to do way too much. The whole love connection between the two of them, oh my God, what a fail. Sam Mendes, not a screenwriter, certainly not there. As a director, hell yeah. As you got Deakins in cinematography, and you have Ross Reznor score. These you can take, and I know Deakins got in there because he's Deakins, but you can't miss on Ross Reznor. If I were to play right now, and I get hit with a copyright strike and the entire stream's gone. It's what a dumb fucking thing. The fact that I could play you a selection from Empire of Light and I would right now be taken right back, transported right back into Empire of Light based on just the piano notes. In fact, when this is over, I'm going to listen to it again because I love that score. The fact that that score was not shortlisted is everything that's wrong with the Academy Awards. And I know that is so specific and it's just like this show, niche, but it's dead correct and 100% accurate. And the fact that we know that and they don't is a problem. The same as me sitting here 5 minutes from Disney knowing that I would have told James Mangold you need to cut 30 minutes out of your film, and yet they let him keep it how it is. Or they even made Dial of Disaster. The fact that I would have told them no way in hell, no kids are going to want to watch Indiana Jones at 80, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge doesn't track young enough to even matter. You never are going to make this movie. You're going to lose us hundreds of millions of dollars. And they would have at that time said, Weber, be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. We're going to make it. And then here's the record. If you want me to come into your room and tell you what you need to do, I will do it for you. It's not free. I do the shit for free here. Super chat, sham, $5. Honestly, I think we're going to get to the point. This is what's going to happen. The studios are going to come in here with super chats for $2.50 because they want to get my advice at whether they would make a movie. Let's see what Weber says. Let's just give him a $5 super chat. And I'm like, what? And I give them the information that I should be charging them $10,000 or more for, because if they would have listened to me to not make the Dial of Disaster, they would save hundreds of millions of dollars and they wouldn't have wasted everybody's time and destroyed James Mangold's stock and all the just absolute destruction around that film. The bad will left on Indiana Jones. What a shame, right? That's the ultimate takeaway as we get ready to wrap. I can't go much longer, guys. I'm going to go this is the shame of the Dial of Disaster. Thank you, Martin, by the way. This is exactly what we're talking about. James Mangold, dude, there's no, you fucked up, dude. You are definitely like, you buried yourself, dude. This is unacceptable. This film should be, I said 30, 50 is probably more like it. This is unacceptable. And this is why I get angry. Because, thank you, Martin. Because listen, we cannot accept mediocrity and we can't accept these directors doing whatever they want anymore. These directors do not show me that they have the skill set and the ability to distance themselves from their films and say, you know what, this film's too long. I've got to cut 30 minutes. You know what happens? This is what happens. I know it. Just like anything. Once you put the work in, you say to yourself, you know what? Oh, man, we spent a week shooting that. We spent a week on that entire scene. It was a lot of work. We got to keep it in. When the reality is sunk cost fallacy. You guys know what that is, right? You already put the money into it, so it doesn't matter if you just let it go. Most people say, no, I'm going to keep it around because I already put money into it. Sometimes you just cut bait. So at this point, you got Mangold watching his film going, you know what? I mean, we spent all that time shooting that scene, and I'd have to go back in. I'm not going to watch it again, but I can tell you right now, I could easily, the first thing I would do to this film is I would truncate the shit out of that prologue. That opening scene is truncated to 5 minutes. It's like 15. It feels like an hour and a half. And make that tight. Make it like a Bond opening, tight. These directors have no calibration anymore. They have no ability to know that that's too long. They're like, look, it's great, so more is more. No, actually, James Mangold, your entire film is more is less. The entire fucking movie, because you didn't know how to get out of your way. And if it takes me to tell you, I hope someone sends him the stream. And Mangold, come after me. Bring it, because I will not back down from that. You fucked your own film. You should have cut 30 minutes out of it, and that's all there is to it. I'm right, you're wrong, and you know it. Ultimately, you know it, and the audience is telling you that I'm right and you're wrong. Thank you, Martin. You watched Teenage Kraken, and it was a blast. Thank you, Martin. This is honestly, can I just tell you guys something? And honestly, I got to get ready to get out of here. I'm exhausted. This was fun as hell. We're at 2 hours. This is why I do this show. This is why we started Midnight Movie Talk, and it's so random and so niche, but it's perfect because this is exactly it. I started this show to get people to see movies like Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. And while I never expected those words and that combination to come forth from this body, I will say that I love being surprised by films that have heart, that are fun, that are so far superior to other films that people say, when I read the reviews for Ruby Gillman, it's like, tries to be turning red. Oh, first of all, when you utter that, you have just signaled to the universe that you are horrifically horrible at your job. Because this film whips out in turning red isn't half the film that Ruby Gillman is. So you, because of your love of Pixar and you're, stroking for the Pixar, it's Pixar, so it's great. Ruby Gillman is a great film for what it is, and I loved it. I had fun with it, and it has great heart, energy, everything about it. And if this is what we do, if we are built on getting you to see Teenage Kraken. And this is what I was making fun of that trailer. It looked terrible. Like, I don't want to see this movie. And I went and I go, this is good. The ability to change your opinion based on the merit of the film in front of you and the ability of the film to do what it's trying to do. We got to be able to do that. And I don't care if that's what the channel is. We are forever the Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken fanboy channel. That's what we'll be. I don't care. You can't stop me. And we will continue forth in that. Everyone else to go, woke this and woke that, and shill this and shill that. We will recommend films that are worthy of your attention, and we will discuss the validity of them being worth your time and evaluate them fairly and objectively, and be shocked when a Joyride or a Teenage Kraken is actually enjoyable when we expect it to be the exact other way, because we're always open to what the reality is versus what we're being told, as opposed to these other critics that already have their mind made up. It's Pixar, so it's good. It's Pixar, so it's great. No, it's not great because it's Pixar, and Elemental and Turning Red are proof positive of that. I'm done, guys. That was fun. I had a blast tonight. I got to be honest with you guys. This might be my favorite stream. We did 3 hours for Avatar, and that was exciting. I did enjoy that. This is a 2-hour stream of just ranting and raving and I think being right. Thanks for being here. And we will do Tuesday night, July 4th. I'm going to come on with my best patriotically colored football shirt. And I'm going to do even though we should be celebrating, I think for a fun stream, we are going to do the 10 worst films of 2023 thus far. And given the choices at our disposal, given the range and the plethora of options, we are going to possibly extend that to the 15 worst films of 2023 when we come back on July 4th. We might even do a 9 o'clock show, midnight. Just listen, go to the community tab. I'll update. Do me a favor before you leave here tonight. First of all, please, if you haven't already, definitely not do it. if you would, leave a like, leave a comment. Comments are good for the algorithm. Say you disagree with me wholeheartedly and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Tell me, my God, can you show us more shirtless pictures, Eric? Whatever it is, whatever you want to do, I'm cool with that. But please just be here and get the alerts, because the alerts, I don't know when I'm going to go. Remember, we did that stream at like 3:30. Just be ready to go, MMT Army. We are ready to roll. We will continue forward fearlessly as the Chris Pine in Don't Worry, Darling of the YouTube universe. That's kind of creepy. So be it. That's what we are. We're the Ruby Kraken, teenage Kraken loving people. Good night. I'm done. I can't do anymore. Love you all. Peace out. Live from LA. EW saying good night. I'm out.